It's a Zanotti, I don't know if it's a chiller or a freezer. Customer thinks it might be both. And they just tend to depend on what they want to do. Anyway, this is the issue. I can't see whether you can see that because the screen's got on the camera. But yeah, that's it. Well, hopefully we're not stuck in here. No, good. Yeah. Pretty bad. I couldn't get it to do a defrost, so I'm wondering if it's a sensor, because usually with these, I think you push and hold that button. It's going to defrost. It's flashing, so it might be telling me the coil's too hot. So maybe we've got a faulty sensor. Hopefully, if it is, it's just a normal NTC or PTC sensor. We can find one on there. But being Zanotti, it might be. I think these are Corel. I'm not sure. I think Corel used to make some of their controllers. I could be wrong. And they might have a specific sensor that's not a normal NTC, PTC type. There might be a specific one to this. Anyway, let's dig into it a bit more. I don't know which is which of these, so I've just pulled them two off and we've got an E3 fault. I think E3 might be condenser probe. Some of these have a... there it is, I think it's here. I think we've got a sensor on the liquid line to see if the liquid line's too hot, which is the condenser was dirty or the fan stopped working. So I'm thinking that's the condenser sensor. Let's put that one back on, then we'll pop the next one off. Or I might, yeah, we'll do. I'll mark that E3. E2 would probably be the coil temp sensor, and E1 I would guess would be the air temp sensor. If that is right, then we can swap the air temp and coil temp over. Let's see if we can, and then that way we'll know what the coil temp sensor's reading. Alright, same again, middle one's off now, and we've got E2 fault, so we think that's probably the coil temp sensor. So we'll take that one off of there and put it here, and we should lose our E2 fault and get an E1 fault if my theory's right. It does take a little while for it to see the sensors plug back in, so it's not instant. So you plug it back in and give it a few seconds, 20 seconds for the fault to go. Okay, well we've plugged them all back in, and that sensor's saying -31, which is yeah, that's a sensible temperature for the coil temp sensor, given the amount of ice on it. I'm looking at this now and I can't... Oh, there is a solenoid there. I was going to say I can't see a solenoid for the hot gas defrost. Yeah. Why won't it defrost? It's still saying we've got a fault. It's not happy about something, is it? I might turn the power off and turn it back on again. See what it does. Okay, I'll put the sensors back in the right place. Turn the power back on again. It's got rid of that fault light. And then when I've hit that button, it's let us do a defrost, so we'll see what it does. Don't want to get stuck in here. It's starting to melt. It's a good thing with hot gas, it does. It puts the heat where you want it, if you think about it, because it's putting the heat where the cold was previous. So it's very good at clearing the frost. I mean, that coil's not too bad, is it? I wonder if he's got a blocked up drain. There's quite a lot of humidity in here. coil is getting nice and hot. I don't think it's gas, the amount of heat that's in that coil. Could be the air temp sensor's faulty. Although if it's a freezer unit, it should cope, shouldn't it? I'm not sure. Mind you, just because it's saying minus 32 doesn't mean it was minus 32. It might have been minus 40 or whatever. It could still be. Mind you, that is clearing that nicely, so I don't think it is. It doesn't look like it's doing incomplete defrosts, does it? Let's be honest. Fairly thorough. Perhaps maybe the fan's not going round enough. Lack of airflow? Don't know, I'm guessing. Let's see what it does, I think. Okay, I've got the panel off and you can see the coil's clean, except for this sheet of ice on the inside, so. We'll get this cleaned out. I've got some hot water in the tub, so I can use my little sprayer if I need it, but actually looking at the way this is coming off, I think we might get most of it. It's only been on since yesterday apparently, so I don't know, maybe it's iced up because it's so hot and humid here. It's not, we don't normally have humid summers, it's usually hot and dry, so we're getting more sort of tropical weather, or tropical for the UK. So I'm wondering if they've just fired up yesterday and the room's been really hot, it might have built up so much ice on the before it did its first defrost that defrost didn't clear it. I don't know, but we can't tell. We'll have to clear all this and then run it and see what it does. Otherwise we're just guessing. And we've got to clear all this because this will create a problem. Okay, we've got all the ice out of that now. So we'll get that put back together, see what it does. Yeah. Right, got it running, it's been running a minute or two. Dryer's cool, there's no heat in it at all. That's quite hot. Although saying that, we have just dumped a load of icy water in the, potentially in there. So that might be taking a bit too much heat out, but it's looking a bit possibly short of gas. Although saying that, that is sweating back. Only real way to know with these is you have to take the gas out and weigh it, which is a pain. 500 grams, about a pound. At least this one you can run it with the cover off. Some of them they put the condenser at the bottom and you can't take the cover off, there's no airflow through the condenser because the fan's at the top. But those ones, when the condenser's at the bottom, you can wash them out because all the water drips on the floor, but these ones you can't wash them out because you'll fill this lot up with water. So there's something to be said for either one of them really. That is quite cool. I'm not sure quite how much water's in that little tray. If that's full of water, it will take some of the heat out of the hot gas. It ends up being a bit like a little condenser. I'll leave it run for a bit. I don't like that. I don't like how cool that feels. .404, isn't it, I think? 404. Right, well, I think that's pretty conclusive. That's a classic look at some of the short gas, really. Only half frost in the coil, and what will happen, that whole top piece will freeze up, then the air can't get through, and then it will start working on the next row down, and then x-ray down until the whole coil's frozen up, especially with it being humid. So that bottom piece is doing nothing at all. Right, got over the coil, not found anything, and then we've just stuck that in the vaporizer tray, or whatever you call it, where the hot gas loop is. It's quite humid in there, so I don't know if the humidity is affected. Let's see if this calms down a bit. Might be a false alarm then. Might be a false alarm, I thought we'd found something. I've had those leak before. I've had these leak before around these, and the cap. It's got a crankcase pressure regulating valve, I think. This looks like it's been changed before. That's not a very good joint. So it's probably quite second hand, this thing. Terminals. I don't think I've seen one of these leak around the terminals, but they can leak. No. Oh, and I had one leak. I had one leak where the pipes went through here. And they go through in like the arm that holds the evaporator up. Don't know. I'd put money on it's that vaporizer tray. That's the favourite place for them to go. They all go there. Nope, not picking anything up. Right, we've pulled out 500 grams so far, which is making me question whether I zeroed that properly. I'm pretty sure I did, but I was talking to the customer at the time, so I wasn't 100% paying attention to what I was doing. This should have 530 grams in it, so I'm starting to wonder whether we've got a block capillary. So I'm pretty sure these are a capillary, so it probably will be. They're not going to be a TX3, are they, at this age? What's the date on this? Has it got a date? I don't know. I stare at these things for ages and still can't see anything on them. No, I can't see a date on there. I think this has been changed. This is RS452. So maybe it's got a different gas in it. But so we're not quite down to a vacuum, we're on to 0, so there's a bit more in there. And then if I put this on the purge, push a bit more out. 60, so we're over what that should have. We've still got probably 50 grams or whatever to break the vacuum, and what's in the machine still and what's in that hose, so the thing's overcharged with whatever's in it, unless we've pulled a lot of oil out. That might affect things, but I don't know. Yeah. I think all we can do is vac it out and weigh in the right charge and see what it does, but I'm now tending to think it's not short gas, it's block capillary, which we'll probably have to get ordered if they have it done. Okay, it's been running a while, probably half an hour, been yapping on the phone. Around a 8 to 9 psi on the suction, so it's running at minus 36, and we've got about 230 psi on the high side, condensing about 37. It is hot out here, but that is cold. That is cold. So all the refrigerant's backing up into the condenser, so what you get is it backs up into the condenser. You haven't got so much room for it to condense, which pushes the head pressure up, and then because a lot of the pipes are full of liquid, it ends up getting really subcooled. So that's why that's cool. That's my theory. What's going on with that catch? I do not like that catch. We don't want to get stuck. Well, that worked well, didn't it? That worked well, fucking Sherlock. Right, that's what we're looking at. It's doing exactly the same things it did before. In fact, it might even be slightly worse. So, capillary's blocked. Needs a new capillary or a new system. It's not going to be fixed today, 7 o'clock on a Friday night.